In this lecture, we're going to learn about how we can compare std strings. So what do we really mean by comparing strings? Two strings are going to be considered equal if they have the same characters inside and they have the same size. That's when we're going to say they are equal. And one string is going to be considered greater or less than another using alphabetical order, or we're going to compare them lexicographically if we want to say it in a more technical way. Here is a simple example showing how we can compare strings. We have hello str, it's going to contain hello, and we have bello str, which is going to contain bello. And here we see a piece of code where we try and compare these things. Try to see if you can come up with the result of what we're going to be printing out here. Hello str is equal to bello str. This is going to be false because they are not equal. The characters are not the same inside. They are different, so the second line is going to be true. Hello is greater than bello. That's true because H comes after B. That should be true, so this is going to give us true. The other one, greater or equal, is also going to be true, but the last two are going to be false because hello is not less than below lexicographically or in alphabetical order, if you want a nicer way to say that. We can also compare std strings to C strings, and here is a simple example of how you can do that. We set up a C string and we compare that to what we have in hello str, and you're going to see that it works exactly as you expect. It's going to look at the size of the string and it's going to look at the content we have inside. If it's equal, it's going to say they are equal. If they are not equal, they are going to be compared lexicographically, and whatever comes in front in alphabetical order is going to be less than the other. This is how these things work. Be careful if you have a non-null terminated string. That may give you really bad and erroneous results because the C++ runtime or the C++ system might go overbound until it meets the first null character. So what you think you are comparing may not be what you are actually comparing, and be sure that you always use null terminated strings. Okay, so this is really all there is about comparing std strings and other things we can compare them to. We are going to head over to Visual Studio Code and actually play with this. Here we are in our working folder. The current project is 1511, comparing strings. We are going to grab our template files pretty quick and put them where they belong, 1511. That's where we put them. And we are going to open this folder in Visual Studio Code. We're going to include the string library, I should say. We are going to go down here, set up two std strings and compare them. Let's close this left pane here, we don't need it. And we're going to see what we get if we try to print this. And again, we are just trying to compare these two strings using different comparison operators. We have equal, not equal, greater, greater or equal, less and less, or equal. And try to guess what we're going to get here. Hello str is equal to bello str here. This is going to be false. Okay, they are not equal. And notice that we are using std bull alpha here, this manipulator, so that the results are going to be printed out in the format of true or false. If we don't do that, we're going to get ones and zeros, and it's going to be a little bit confusing. So we're going to use this format here. Hello str is not equal to bello str. This is going to be true. And hello is greater than bello. That's true because H comes after B in alphabetical or lexicographical order. So this is going to be true as well. And the other one here is going to be true. Hello is greater or equal to bello. This is going to be true. And the last two are going to be false. This is going to be false and the other one is going to be false. We're going to build with GCC. The build is going to be good. We're going to bring up a terminal and try to run this. We are going to clear and run rooster. And you see what we get is false, true, true. Let's see if this is exactly what we expect here. Let's bring this up. We're going to have a false, 3 trues, and 2 falses. This is exactly what we expect. The next thing we're going to see is that we can compare std string to a C string. We're going to put in an example to help us play with this, and you see that we are using strlen here, but we haven't included the library that gives us access to this thing. If you don't know what to include, please use your standard library reference and see the documentation for strlen. You're going to know what to include there. But for now, we're just going to go up and include cstring. I think it's going to give us access to that. And if we come down, the squiggly line should go away on strlen here. This is going to work. And what we're going to do, we're going to set up a cstring, which is going to contain hello. It's going to be almost the same as we have in hello str. Let's say bello. Why not? Let's say bello here and compare these things. Okay, that's going to be easier to follow. So we're going to say the size of hello str, and we're going to say the size of our cstring. Cstrings don't have the facilities we have with stdstrings. So if we want to know its size, we are going to use the strlen facility from the cstring library. It's going to give us how many characters we have in the string without counting the null terminator. And that's going to be exactly the same thing we get for the size facility from the stdstring type. So after we have the sizes, we're going to know if they have the same sizes or not. And we are going to see if they are equal, or if one is greater or equal to the other, or if one is less than the other. We're going to try and do these things, and we're going to see what we get. But I would encourage you to try and guess what we're going to get. Let's try and do this together. Let's try and put our string here. We're going to say hello str, and we're going to put in hello so that we have these things close to each other. It's going to make it easier to compare them. So we're going to say hello str is equal to the cstring. They don't contain the same thing, so they're not going to be equal. This is going to be a false. And if we put one on the left, we just switch the order, we're going to get a false still. They are not equal. So let's say that cstring is greater or equal to hello str. Is that the case? Let's see. So it's not greater or equal because it comes in front, so it is less. So this is going to be false as well. And cstring is less than hello. Let's say that cstring is less than hello. That's going to be true because B comes in front of H. Okay, let's say that this is going to be true. This is what we expect. We can try and run this and see if this is the case. We're going to build with GCC. The build is going to be good. We are going to build successfully. If we clear and run rooster, the sizes are going to be 5. We are going to get falses here, 3 falses. You see we have 3 zeros and we have a 1. Okay, now you see that these comparisons here are not going to give us booleans directly. They are going to give us some kind of integers. And you can use these things in tests if you want, or if you really want a boolean, you can cast these things to booleans. You're going to get that if you want. Okay, so what I want you to see now is that if you have character arrays that are not null terminated properly, you're going to get some bad results, and you don't want to do that. So what we're going to do here, we're going to set up a character array, and we're not going to terminate it with a null character on purpose. So the compiler is basically going to read this until it meets the null character, and it's probably going to go overbound many times. And this is probably not what you want. If we make the comparison like this, this may have more characters than you think it actually has. So the comparison here may fail. If you look here, let's put our hello string here again so that you know that this is what we are going to compare it with. We're going to say stdstring hello str, and we're going to initialize this with hello. We're going to use lowercase, no big deal here. Note that this is going to add the null terminator internally in stdstring. So this is going to have 5 elements. This is also going to have 5 elements. That's what we think. But the compiler might go overbound until it meets the first null character. So we might think this has 5 characters inside, but we might have more. This is going to be completely random. So if we try and compare these things, we're going to see what we get. We are trying to see if hello str here is equal to our character array. We are going to build this. Let's do that. We're going to run the task to build with GCC. And we're going to see that we get an error. We have std hello str was declared before. So it was declared here. Let's do an assignment here. That's going to be easier. I just want to have them close to each other so that I can follow this easily. I don't want to redeclare this. This is probably going to go through because we are doing an assignment. We're going to build again with GCC. And what do we have here? Oh, hello str. We forgot our variable name. Let's put that in, and we're going to say hello str equals hello here. I am tired. Sorry for this. We are going to try and build this again with GCC. Now the build is going to be good. And if we try and run this, try to see what you expect. We're going to run rooster, and we're going to see that these two guys are not equal. Why is that? Well, this guy went overbound and the size was more than 5 characters, but we don't have a way to really verify this. So if you really want to get good results from these guys, please do terminate your character arrays with a null terminator like we have in this second example here. This is going to work fine because we have the null terminator, and when these guys are going to be compared, we're going to know that this guy has 5 characters, the other guy has 5 characters. We're going to compare each of these characters. We're going to see that they are the same. Now we are going to say that these two guys are equal. If we build again, we are going to build with GCC, and we're going to clear, and we're going to run rooster. Now we're going to see that these guys are equal because the character array is properly null terminated. Drill this in your mind. If you are working with character arrays, this is something that is going to give you a lot of headaches if you are not careful about this. This is really all we set out to do in this lecture, showing you how you can compare std strings between themselves and between C strings. We are going to stop here in this lecture. Let's clean this up a little bit. In the next one, we're going to see how we can basically do the same thing using a behavior of the std string type, which is called compare. Go ahead and finish up here and meet me there.